You wake up in a small camp 100,000 years ago. Across the fire, someone is watching you. Not a threat, not family, someone you can't stop thinking about. There are maybe 30 people in your entire world. No apps, no messages, no second chances in another city. If you want them, you walk over there with no words for what you feel and somehow make them choose you. So how did they do it? No privacy, no weddings, no roses, barely any language. How did ancient humans find love? Now, the story of human love doesn't begin with a kiss. It begins with teeth. Look at a male chimpanzee, our closest relative. Long, dagger-like canines. He uses them to fight other males for females. In chimp society, the biggest, most aggressive male wins, and love has nothing to do with it. It's just power. Now look in your own mouth. Your canines are tiny, flat, almost useless, and that is one of the most important clues in the entire human story. In 2009, researchers unveiled Ardi, Ardipithecus ramidus, an ancestor who lived 4.4 million years ago. And Ardi's teeth changed everything. The males had small canines, almost the same size as the females, and that tiny detail tells us something enormous. Males had largely stopped fighting each other for mates. Anthropologist Owen Lovejoy looked at this and proposed a radical idea. This is roughly when pair bonding began. Instead of the strongest male taking everything, a male could win a female a completely different way, by providing for her, bringing food, sticking around, by being reliable. Think about what that means. For millions of years, the path to love had been violence, and then, slowly, it became something else. Competition to be a better partner. You have flat teeth and a small jaw, because somewhere deep in your ancestry, being a good partner started to beat being a good fighter. But this created a problem. If a male's going to spend his whole life on one female and her children, he needs to know those children are his. And here's where we did something almost no other primate does. We hid ovulation. A female chimp advertises fertility. Her body swells, changes color, tells every male she's ready. Human females don't. Human fertility is concealed. Even the woman herself often can't feel it. And if a male wanted to be sure of fatherhood, he had to stay every day, which means he had to bond. Hidden ovulation quietly forced our ancestors into lasting relationships. So the machinery for love was building. But bonding needs more than biology. It needs a feeling. And that feeling has a name: oxytocin, the love hormone. It floods your brain during touch, closeness, holding a child. It's the same chemical that bonds a mother to her baby, repurposed by evolution to bond two adults to each other. When ancient humans held each other in the dark by the fire, their brains were doing the exact same thing yours does today. The chemistry of falling in love is hundreds of thousands of years old. But feelings are invisible. So how do you show someone you want them before you even have words? You give them something beautiful. In a cave in Morocco, archaeologists found shell beads between 142 and 150,000 years old, the oldest known jewelry on Earth. Tiny sea snail shells, pierced on purpose, worn smooth from hanging on a string, stained with red ochre. The nearest sea was miles away. Someone traveled to collect them, drilled them by hand, colored them red, not for survival, for meaning. And think about what jewelry actually is. It's an object whose only purpose is to make you more desirable to someone else. The oldest art we have isn't a weapon. It isn't a tool. It's decoration. We were dressing up to impress each other, before cities, before farming, before writing. The instinct to make yourself beautiful for someone is older than civilization itself. So picture it. You want someone in your camp. You can't fight for them. That's not who your species is anymore. So instead, you become a good provider. You bring back the best of the hunt. You gather shells, stain them red, string them together, and you give them to the person you can't stop watching. You sit beside them at the fire. Your brain floods explodes with oxytocin. And slowly, quietly, you become a pair. Not because a law demanded it, not because a ceremony required it, but because that's what humans, at their core, are built to do. And here's the part that should stop you cold. This wasn't just biology using them like puppets. They felt it, the same way you do. In 2007, near Mantua, Italy, they uncovered two skeletons from around 6,000 years ago. A young man and a young woman, both about 20 years old. They were buried face to face, their arms wrapped around each other, their legs entwined. Someone found them like this, arranged them in that embrace, and laid them in the earth together, so that whatever came next, they'd face it holding each other. We call them the Lovers of Valdaro. For 6,000 years, they have not let go. And in a cave in southern Italy, a boy of about 11 was buried 14,000 years ago, on a bed of red ochre, wrapped in a shroud sewn with more than 1,000 pierced shells, bracelets of deer teeth on both wrists. Someone spent countless hours adorning a child for death, not because it helped anyone survive, because they loved him, and they couldn't bear to send him into the dark with nothing. This is what we forget. We picture ancient humans as brutes clubbing each other in caves, but the ground says the opposite. They gave gifts, they wore jewelry to be noticed, they chose partners, and they stayed. They buried their lovers in an embrace, and their children in shells. Love wasn't invented by poets or greeting cards. It was already here, fully formed, tens of thousands of years before any of that. Today, you can talk to 1,000 people without leaving your bed. Swipe through more faces in an hour than your ancestors saw in a lifetime. And yet, more of us feel alone now than perhaps at any point in human history. Your ancestors had 30 people and no words for love, and they found it anyway, and held on so tightly that we can still see the shape of that embrace 6,000 years later. They didn't have more options than you. They had less. They just understood something we're forgetting. That love was never about choosing from thousands. It was about choosing one and staying. We didn't evolve to be desired by everyone. We evolved to be chosen by someone and to choose them back every single day until the fire went out.